Hello and welcome to Mickey Art. My name is Michelle Edhouse and today I'm going to do my review of the DecoArt clear pouring top coat. Now this was sent to me by DecoArt to try to give feedback on, and I've been really kind of resistant in doing it, and I kept asking, what is this about? Why am I resistant to this? And what I've noticed as other artists who have been sent the product have done their reviews, there's been some pretty interesting feedback. So I've been doing lots of watching of other people's videos to see what they've done, what sort of results they've had, and I'm actually going to do two different tests today. One on this canvas. This is a canvas, it's a 16 by 20. I'm gonna follow their instructions exactly. So their instructions say, and I'm reading, where does it say it? Does it say on here? So you pour it on, you spread it around by tilting the surface, cover the edges with a palette knife, and then place at a 45-degree angle and allow to air dry overnight. So it says it here, and it says it on the back of the bottle as well. And I have seen varying results with that. So what I'm also going to do, and because those of you that follow my channel, you'll know that I paint a lot on records. And the very idea of having to prop a record at a 45-degree angle, you've got nothing to rest it on that's not going to be touching. It's one of the reasons why I haven't done it. Because I was like, how on earth do you sit that at a 45-degree angle? Now, what I saw, I got pointed to by a lovely person on a comment on somebody else's video. Online Painting School did a review, and what she did was she had it sit for 45 on the 45-degree angle for a little bit, and then once it kind of stopped dripping off, she then tilted it back and sat it flat. And I thought, oh, I can do that with a record. I'm sure I can get the record to sit. So I'm kind of doing a couple of different experiments here. I'm going to see if I get a similar result to Online Pouring School with the record, and as much as checking out if that will work, if I can get records to even sit like that. And I think I've worked out a plan, so I'll show you that in a minute. The other thing is doing this one identical to the rules and regulations. Leave it on that angle for 24 hours. So we'll see how that goes. Both of these paintings have been drying for, well, they've been completely dry for over 2 weeks. I know that Anne Osborne had problems with one canvas that she thinks maybe wasn't completely dry, and the whole lot just ripped off. It was really weird, because it didn't leave anything behind. And if you've ever tried to strip a canvas, you'll know it leaves it behind. So yeah, let's get to it. Let's get started. Let's give it a go. So I'm going to move my prop out of the way. For a start off, I'm going to do this one first, and then I'm going to move over to this one once that one is up and running. So let's turn it around so you guys can see the whole canvas ish. Am I really as high as I can go? Oh, look at that. I can get another turn out of the... Alright, that is as high as I can go. Sorry guys, so that's as much as you're gonna see. I'll try and keep it perfectly centered for you. So I'm gonna pour it off this end, And what I've done, which I also learnt from online pouring school, I think, or it may have been Heather, to move your pins over closer to the edge so that when it's up on its angle, the canvas doesn't touch the ground, because we still want it to drip off, right? So let's give it a go. It says do not shake. Dries to a lacquer finish. Do not shake. Pour over dry painted surface. So let's give it a go. Off the edge, yay! What I am noticing though is there's a dimple, and these are the sorts of dimples that you get in resin where the silicone comes up. So I'm just going to pop some more on top of that and see what happens. Okay guys, so question then becomes, now that I've got it all run down to this end, should I tilt it that way? I'm going to have to move my pins to do that. Well, I'm now feeling like it's really thin on this end and really thick on that end. No, I'm not going to, but I am going to get a pin and pop these couple of little air bubbles and get out a couple of bits of fluff that I've noticed. It's just like with resin, fluff can be a problem, and that's one of the things about I was a bit concerned about with regards to the tilting, is if it's got to sit there tilted, your cover has got to be a lot more, yeah, your cover has got to be a lot more taller than it would be for resin. Now, I've got air bubbles in here, probably created by me moving the drips up. And I'm not excited about them still being there in the morning, so what I would do with resin. And all it's done is brought silicone holes to the top. Awesome. Let's put a blob on each of those silicone holes. I'm a bit concerned about not having washed the other one now from seeing this, but we'll have a look in a minute. So I've got a bit of laminated card here, and I'm just gonna put that over the end, down under the end, under, over, round. Slide that over, and 45 degrees is like that, and I feel like I'm going to have absolutely nothing left on the painting if I have it like that. What do you guys reckon? And I'm not sure I can actually sit this one up that high. Yes I can. What I need to do though is support the two sides rather than just the top. Ooh. It's slipping. Alright, that's as big an angle as I'm going to get, and that is about a 37-degree angle, maybe, somewhere around that. What's going on? Alright, so we're going to leave that there to do its thing for 24 hours. How's it getting any better than that? So we've got it all angled up, leaning against pots. And this top end is starting to look a bit bare. Oh well, we'll have to see how it goes, won't we? Welcome back. This is about 21 hours later, not the full 24. This one has drying beautifully. I'm really liking it. But actually I'm going to bring you down and show you what I'm seeing. Down here we've got some drips happening, and this is something that everyone that has followed the instructions has mentioned, is the drips. Now, because I wasn't on quite a 45-degree angle, but, you know, it's more of a closer to 35. The drips are further round the back of the, round to the bottom of the canvas. So I'm actually going to, in this moment in time, move my supports and drop it back down to its lower height, to its actual height, actual flatness, you know what I mean? That thing. Words fail me. Now, I'm being very careful not to touch it because it hasn't been the full 24 hours. But what I am trying to do is I'm going to tilt it back up this way and show you. See, it hasn't run evenly either, so we've got some bits there that are not 100% even. what I'm going to do is try and bend those over so that they are down. Maybe even cut them off. They're still soft, just a bit like resin is the next morning. They're still soft. So I thought if I can get them while they're still soft and flatten it out a little bit. Cut the chunks off and allow them to drop just while it's still soft. The chunks are gonna be more underneath than on the side. So I thought I'd do this on camera so that I've got full disclosure of what I'm doing. At this end though, those knobs are definitely poking out. It's not a look I would like if I was selling this piece. Which I have had a few people interested in this piece. A number of people have said that this one looks like Florida, which is quite funny. Things that I try and make look like things don't turn out that way, as you may have noticed in some of my other videos. So if it looks like something, that's definitely just a clever muse. Alright, so I'm not liking that look along there at all. But I'm going to drop it down and leave it to dry for the rest of its 24 hours. But this is, the actual coat looks really nice. I like it. It's shiny. So we'll let that one finish. Okay. Final part of the video. So how did this go? I actually did leave it tipped and it didn't really get rid of any more of the lumps and bumps. So I'm not actually gonna recommend doing it this way, the small amounts, because it does end up with a very rough looking, not a glassy beautiful finish like we got on this. So when I followed the instructions completely, I got a beautiful glassy finish. It looks stunning. I like it a lot. Now, it does have a real plastic feel to it, especially on the end that was the bottom end when it was tilted, where it's quite thick. It's got a real plastic feel to it. Again, as I said, I don't like the way it's dribbled off the sides. That's not, let's see if I can capture that for you again. There you go. It's not pretty. I don't like that. But the finish itself, if you can find a way to avoid that, and as I said, what I would do is, you know, drain it for maybe an hour, half an hour, and then sit it flat like Online Painting School did. I did take this one inside into the warm, and when the house was quite hot, when we had the fire really burning, it did have a feel that could have been perceived as tacky. I have not been willing to push any of these together to see if they tack. So what I've done is, this is paper that had runoff on it, and I found two bits where it was quite thick, and I pushed them together and they do stick to each other. They do tack together, and I have seen some concern about that tackiness as to the future of that, and I can't answer you that, and I'm going to be asking that of the DecoArt people as well when I send this in. So I adore you all, and this has been a very fun experiment. I've enjoyed it. Hope you have found it useful. So guys, let's have a look at this. We've got an 8-ounce bottle, and we have done a 16 by 20 inch canvas. So 16 times 20 is 320 square inches. We've done a 12 diameter circle and a 7 inch diameter circle. So let me just calculate what that is in total. Okay, so 16 by 20 gives us 320 square inches, a 12 inch circle gives us 113 square inches, and a 7 inch circle, it gives us a 38.5 square inches, giving us a grand total of 471.5 square inches covered with an 8-ounce pot. 8 ounces is 236 mils. 236 times 2 is about 472. So roughly, for every milliliter of clear coat, you get 2 square inches. 1 milliliter equals 2 square inch covered. That's my findings. That's my calculations. And so I looked at the prices of art resin and the prices of DecoArt Topcoat. Art resin comes in at $28 plus postage for 8 ounces. So you use twice as much, and it costs $28, whereas the top coat for 16 ounces is only $22. So cheaper, and you're getting 4 times as much coverage. To me, from those calculations, it works out cheaper than using art resin. Obviously, art resin has a lot of different properties. It doesn't smell as much as this does, and it's a pain in the proverbial buttocks, in my opinion, if you have any silicone left on your painting. Whereas this one, I did not wash at all, and look at all those cells. They're all silicone cells. And yeah, I have had some crazing, and I'm going to chat to DecoArt about that, and that may be to do with the fact that there was silicone left on there. And really, doesn't seem that you have to be as pedantic and intense about getting every single micro milliliter of the silicone off. So there you go. That is my review. I like it. I would like to play with it more. And it definitely, if it turns out that cracking is something I can avoid with ease, then I think I'd use it. I really do. I would do it as per instructions, and after about 20 minutes of it tilted, I would set it back down again. That would be the way I would do it. That would also then allow me, while it was still pretty much okay, to get rid of any of these weird runoff bits. I'm gonna send this in to DecoArt, and I will let you all know what feedback I get from them. I adore you all. Have fun. Come join us on acrylic pouring for fun. If you've liked my video, subscribe, hit the bell so that you get notifications, and yeah, what else is possible? How much fun can we have together? I adore you. Bye bye.